Hello and welcome to another Betfred Sports video right here in the Quest Media Network studio. Now, of course, the Premier League continued at the weekend. There were some massive results. So firstly, we'll take a look at Manchester United's trip to Chelsea. Of course, they salvaged a 94th minute equaliser courtesy of Casemiro. Peter, that sparked wild celebrations, and of course that is a massive result, or it could be, come the end of the season.
Yeah, it was. It surprised me really how well United played with all the pre-match build-up to do with Ronaldo. And I thought it was very clumsy of McTominay when he fouled the Chelsea guy. That was a penalty that was just, he gave the referee the option to give a penalty basically by dragging him by his arm around his waist, didn't he? So instead of just like blocking him from the corner, he did that really silly thing. He ought to be a better player than that, a cleverer player than that, because they all jockey around in the penalty area. But to grab someone by the waist like that and kind of allow himself to be pulled over like it was a clear penalty. And then they got the dramatic equaliser, as you say, to keep themselves well in the frame for a top four finish.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're more optimistic and you fancy Manchester United to win the title, they are now priced with Betfred at 80-1. But so are Newcastle United following that 2-1 victory at Tottenham on Sunday. Peter, a massive result for Eddie outside.
Yeah, it was. It's Newcastle are back in the big time now. In the top four, played tremendously well. He's building a highly successful team there. In fact, he's recruited that pal of mine from Stockport Council.
Yeah, as goalkeeping coach. Yeah,
goalkeeping coach. Yeah. So he's building a substantial team around them, and they're doing remarkably well. They play very much as a team as opposed to a group of individuals. And as you say, they're now 80-1 to win the title outright. For a top four finish, they're now coming to 9-2. The same price to win the Premier League as Manchester United, 80-1. City, well, they're the clear odds-on favourites now, 1-5. Arsenal, they were pegged back, weren't they? They're 6-1 now. Liverpool, well, they're on the slide, 25-1. So it's looking like it's a two-horse race, even at this early stage, between City and Arsenal. Chelsea 40-1, Tottenham 40-1. So Newcastle are benefiting from some poor or inconsistent performances by the so-called big 4 or 6 at the top of the table, apart from City. Even Arsenal faltered with the draw at the weekend at Southampton. Yeah. So and for the top four finish, Newcastle are now 9-2. Well, we disregard City. I think they're going to get a top four finish. Liverpool, well, they're still odds on 4-7. Although that is their aim this season, that's what they've been left to try and achieve now. Spurs and Chelsea are both odds on. United 13-8. So Newcastle's vast improvements is basically putting under threat United's target of that fourth place finish.
Absolutely. Well, it's worrying times for Jurgen Klopp's side, but a complete contrast for Manchester City. They continue to impress on and off the pitch. They beat Brighton 3-1 on Saturday, and of course it was that man, Erling Haaland. Once again, there's just no stopping him. And looking towards Tuesday's Champions League fixture, he returns to his old club, Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, he does. The way that he shrugged off those defenders is unbelievable. He looks like a rugby league player who piles through. And they're not fouls. He's just like, they just can't knock him away from the ball. He's a phenomenal player. The big question, of course, is whether they need to play him at Dortmund. He'll be desperate to play his old stamping ground. He's 2-1 to score the first goal. Very, very short odds for that. Mahrez is 5-1. Foden 11-2. De Bruyne 7-1. City 4-7 to pick up all 3 points in Dortmund.
Excellent stuff, of course. Kevin De Bruyne will want to follow up that terrific goal that he scored against Brighton on Saturday. And as Peter just said there, what is it to score first?
He's 2-1, and then I've got to say the Champions League outright.
And he is priced at 2-1 with Betfred to get the first goal against Dortmund. So, Peter, just looking at the Champions League outright, I believe City are the favourites?
Yeah, they are. They've been favourites since the start of the season. They're now 15-8, so they've been backed in there Bayern Munich, their second favourites, 11-2. PSG 13-2. Liverpool, they can't be discounted in European competition, and they are looking much more like a cup team now, being able to raise the game for particular games like against City, I suppose. They're 7-1. Real Madrid 9-1. Chelsea 14-1, and Spurs, well, on the slide now in the Champions League, they're 20-1 to win the Champions League outright.
Excellent stuff. Well, we're going to move into the Rugby League World Cup now, because the action continued at the weekend, and the odds on England to win the competition have been slashed to 5-1 following that demolition over France. And of course, England face Greece this weekend, so they'll be heading into this one with a lot of confidence.
Well, Betfred have England now third favourites, 5-1, behind New Zealand at 4-1. Australia still the outright favourites at 4-9. It's been a fascinating spectacle, broadcast on the BBC, of course. England beaten the two teams put before them, Samoa and now France. Issue there is the wingers, with Ryan Hall playing so well, and whether they can find a place for Tommy Makinson from St Helens. He is an excellent player, and I can see him coming back for against the Greeks, who are the minnows of the group. And now England have qualified for the quarter-finals. It is looking like the business end of that competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, of course, Betfred are proud sponsors of England in this tournament, and hopefully they can go on to win the competition. If you do fancy them to do that, they are currently priced at 5-1 with Betfred. Well, there's been a big winner this week at Betfred. One guy from the South Coast has won £64,000 from a £24 bet. Peter, great return for the guy.
Yeah, it was a place pot bet where you pick the places for 6 races, and then the pot is shared out, how much money's gone in all over the country. And as you say, he's won £64,000 from a £20 bet, and good luck to him. I'm looking forward to interviewing him. Is an amazing return, that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to move into some political news now, because Rishi Sunak, is he going to become the Prime Minister? He's currently priced at 1-33 with Betfred to do so. Peter, tell us a bit more about this.
Well, this all changed, of course, when Boris decided not to run. He was up there. He wasn't quite the favourite. It was always going to be Sunak as the favourite, because he picks up over 100 of the MPs' nominations. And that's the threshold that was introduced by the 1922 committee. So, but then when he pulled out, it basically left 2 candidates in there, Penny Mordaunt and Rishi Sunak, and he's come through now. He's 1-33. So even if he doesn't get it today, he's going to get it in the next few days. But it's much more likely he'll get it the nomination today and become the new Prime Minister. She has only got 20-odd nominations. He publicly vowed to back her, and it could end up being a coronation later on today, and that we have another Prime Minister.